If your fuel economy has taken a sudden hit and you can't figure out why, the cause might be a small, but often overlooked part under your hood: the IAT sensor. A dirty intake air temperature sensor can silently wreak havoc on your MPG, performance, and wallet. Here's everything you need to know about how it works, why it matters, and how to fix it. What is the IAT sensor and why it matters? The IAT sensor, or intake air temperature sensor, plays a vital role in your car's fuel efficiency. It measures the temperature of the air entering your engine. That might not sound important, but air temperature changes how your engine operates. Cold air is denser and carries more oxygen. Warm air is lighter and carries less. Your engine's computer uses the IAT sensor's data to decide how much fuel to mix with the air. If the reading is accurate, the mix is efficient, and you get good gas mileage. But if the sensor gives incorrect data, because it's dirty or clogged, it sends the wrong message. Your engine might inject too much or too little fuel. This affects combustion, performance, and fuel economy. The IAT sensor is usually found on or near the air intake system, either in the air filter housing, the intake tube, or the manifold. It's small and easy to overlook, but a dirty one can lead to major issues. Unfortunately, because it rarely triggers a check engine light, most people don't even know it's a problem. But if you've noticed worse gas mileage and sluggish acceleration, your IAT sensor could be the hidden cause that is costing you money every mile. Signs: your IAT sensor is dirty. A dirty IAT sensor doesn't always scream for attention, but it leaves behind a trail of symptoms that can quietly hurt your car's performance. One of the biggest signs is a sudden drop in fuel economy. You may find yourself filling up more often without changing your driving habits. Acceleration might feel slower, and the car could hesitate when you step on the gas. It may also idle roughly, especially when the engine is cold. What makes it tricky is that these symptoms often don't trigger a check engine light. Many drivers spend money on fuel additives, new spark plugs, or even unnecessary tune-ups, not realizing the real issue is a sensor no bigger than your finger. Another clue is inconsistent performance. One day your car feels fine, the next it struggles. That's because a dirty IAT sensor gives inconsistent readings, confusing the engine's computer. Over time, carbon deposits, oil mist from the crankcase, or even fine dust particles can coat the sensor. If you use an oiled air filter, the oil itself can gum up the sensor. So if your car feels off and everything else checks out, take a closer look at your IAT sensor. It might be dirtier than you think. How to clean the IAT sensor smartly. Cleaning a dirty IAT sensor is a quick and easy DIY job that can restore your car's lost fuel efficiency. First, locate the sensor, usually found near or in the intake manifold or connected to the air intake hose. It's a small plastic plug with an electrical connector. Before removing it, turn off the engine and let everything cool down. Gently unplug the connector and remove the sensor. Be careful not to damage the tip. It's delicate. For cleaning, only use mass airflow sensor cleaner or electronic safe cleaner. Never use brake cleaner or WD-40. Hold the sensor by the body and spray the tip thoroughly. Don't scrub or touch the sensor element. Let it air dry completely for at least 10 minutes. Once it's dry, reinstall it and reconnect the wires. No special tools or skills are needed, and the whole process takes less than 15 minutes. After cleaning, many people report smoother throttle response, better idle, and improved MPG. It's a good idea to clean it every 6 to 12 months, especially if you drive in dusty areas or use an oiled air filter. Regular cleaning not only improves efficiency but can also prevent long-term damage to your engine's combustion system. How a dirty sensor affects MPG. When your IAT sensor is dirty, it starts sending false information to your engine's control unit. The engine depends on this data to balance the air-to-fuel ratio. If the sensor wrongly reads the air as colder, the computer adds more fuel than necessary, thinking it needs a richer mixture. If it reads the air as hotter, it leans out the mixture, which can cause misfires or hesitation. Either way, your MPG takes a hit. The wrong mixture leads to incomplete combustion, wasted fuel, and sometimes even carbon buildup inside the engine. Over time, this inefficiency adds up. You burn more gas for the same distance, spend more at the pump, and put extra stress on your engine. Modern vehicles are designed to be fuel efficient, but they depend on accurate sensor readings. That's why a dirty sensor, even if it's just slightly off, can lead to a noticeable decline in performance. People often overlook this because there's no warning light, but even a 5 to 10% drop in MPG adds up fast, especially with rising fuel prices. Cleaning or replacing the IAT sensor is one of the cheapest ways to improve fuel economy, and many drivers see instant results once it's restored. Why the IAT sensor gets dirty. The IAT sensor may be small, but it's exposed to a dirty environment that affects its accuracy over time. Every time you drive, air flows through the intake system into the engine. That air can carry tiny particles of dust, debris, and oil vapor, even if you have a clean air filter. Over time, these particles build up on the sensor's surface, especially on the sensitive tip that reads air temperature. If your vehicle uses an oiled air filter, like some performance filters, excess oil can also migrate onto the sensor and attract more grime. Additionally, crankcase ventilation systems release oil vapor into the intake to reduce emissions, but that same vapor can leave behind residue. The result? A sticky, dirty sensor that can't read accurately. Most drivers never check their IAT sensor, so it quietly gets worse with time. The sensor doesn't have to be completely clogged to cause problems. Even a light film of dirt can throw off readings. Since the engine's computer trusts this sensor for fuel calculations, even small errors can lead to poor mileage. Understanding why it gets dirty helps you stay ahead of the issue with regular cleaning and avoid costly inefficiencies. A clean IAT sensor might not sound like a big deal, but it can make a noticeable difference in your fuel economy and engine performance. By keeping it clean and checking it regularly, you're saving fuel, protecting your engine, and avoiding unnecessary repairs. Don't overlook the small stuff. It's often the cheapest fix with the biggest payoff.